His name was Logan, trooper, Special Air Service, Britain's elite soldiers, like the U.S. Navy SEALs, the Rangers, and the Israeli Sayeret Matkal. It all looks quiet. He snapped out of his reverie. Jonah Blake was up in the cupola, manning the Browning M2 machine gun, constantly moving the barrel around to watch for threats, for potential targets, and finding none. So far. Are you sure? There's always movement on this track. Farmers herding goats and cattle, merchants leading donkey trains toward the city. It's never quiet. It is now. It looks like we pulled a good duty. Another 10 clicks will take us to the edge of our patrol area, and we can turn back, and we'll be home in a couple of hours. In time for a cold shower to soak away the dust and sweat. We'll be early enough to go into the city and find a decent bar. You know the one where we met Al Mercer and the SEAL guys the other night? He chuckled. Say, Max, you don't need to worry about the local cops. The owner is operating without a license, but his brother is a senior cop in Kabul, so nobody bothers them. A man can drink himself stupid in that place. The name's Logan, not Max. He had a first name, but rarely used it. Maximilian. People tried to shorten it to Max, but before he died, his father made him promise to never, ever answer to the diminutive version of his name. When you were born, I christened you Maximilian, and it's a name to be proud of, son. Never Max. Not ever. Promise me. He promised. It didn't cause him any difficulty. He considered Logan a good enough name for any man. He felt uneasy after what Jonah had said. He knew this track was never quiet, and many people used it as the main highway in a country where metalled roads were few and far between. When people trod a path through rough terrain over many decades, often centuries, it became the main highway. And main highways were always busy. What about IEDs? You keeping an eye out, Jonah? Yep, watching every inch of the track. Logan glanced at the driver, Billy Burton. How are we looking up front, Billy? Same, don't worry. I'm keeping an eye out. If I see anything, I'll stop to check it out. Don't worry about it. There was nothing more he could do. Riding in the cramped rear of the Humvee, surrounded by a mass of equipment, the tools of their trade. The trade was killing, so most of the equipment was weapons. Working with the SEALs, they'd been happy to adopt the HK-416 assault rifle. Chambered for 5.56 millimeter rounds, the German-made weapon was both accurate and reliable. Some special forces favored the larger caliber HK-417, firing the bigger, heavier 7.62 millimeter NATO standard round, but most preferred the lighter 5.56 millimeter version, allowing them to move fast without the encumbrance of carrying a heavier battle rifle and ammunition. Behind him rested an L7A2, or GPMG, General Purpose Machine Gun. Across his knees rested a combat shotgun, and for close quarters combat, inside buildings and caves, he carried a Glock 9mm automatic. 4 grenades hooked to loops on his plate-carrier armored vest comprised the rest of his armament. And if a man thought it was a lot to carry into a fast-moving fight, he hadn't experienced the abrupt, dizzying, whirling confusion of an Afghan ambush. Billy had told him not to worry, and in his experience, when a man said not to worry, it was time to start worrying and head for the hills. He smiled and decided he was probably overreacting when the track exploded, tossing the vehicle into the air, and it landed on its side.